people often confuse weather and climate.
Yeah. So there's you hear a lot of different metaphors for explaining weather and climate. The one I like to use is imagine you're walking your dog, right? And you're out walking your dog, and that dog's driven by some natural tendencies. If it sees a fire hydrant or a McDonald's wrapper or another dog somewhere, it could be going in an opposite direction that you're walking. But ultimately, if you're sitting above the dog walker and the dog, and you're looking down, that dog's path can be defined by the path that the dog walker's taken, the mean climate. So even though that weather varies back and forth quite chaotically day to day, the climate's really describing that mean path. And it includes all of those extremes that we witness. Yeah.
And one of the things when you talk about understanding climate change and how you teach it to people, you talk about getting people to understand their climate change.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Like, does Frederick Bertley, do I have my own kind of impact on climate change?
Well, first, simple answer is yes, you do have an individual impact. We have a collective impact on climate and climate change. When I think about individuals' climate change, it's the idea that we experience climate change differently depending on where we live, where we're at the moment, or over a longer period of time. There are a lot of fascinating pieces of evidence showing change across the world. Scary evidence in some respects. Ice that's accelerating in terms of melting, sea level rise that's really rapid in some areas and threatening some island nations. But here in Ohio, it's been a long time since we've had ice sitting here in Ohio, and it's been even longer since we've had an ocean. So we don't experience ice melt. What do we experience? We experience things like an increase in water vapor, the amount of moisture that's in the atmosphere that can contribute to extreme precipitation events. We feel the increase in temperature, so our winters are warming twice as fast as our summertime. So really challenging folks to think about the change that's happening in their backyard and the impacts that they're feeling, and then ultimately the next step is building resilience to those changes.
What can I do? What can we do as an individual to mitigate that? Or saying it differently, why should we even care if it's getting a little bit warmer?
Yeah, so I think that question really speaks to three choices that we have as human beings. One is that we adapt to the changes that we see. We try to catch up to the changes that we've already invested in our atmosphere and those climate changes based on our previous actions. The next step is we mitigate. We're limiting, right, the impacts of even worse outcomes in the future by we know what the primary mechanism is of our climate change right now, which is fossil fuel burning and combustion and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, increasing greenhouse gases. The other choice is to suffer individually and collectively. And that's really, I think, where the equity question comes in. It's very important, and it's why it takes more than just climate scientists. It takes all of the roles, all of the people out there, from your county commissioners to your doctors thinking about health, to agricultural specialists and farmers, and all of these different roles that all of us play have a role to play in making those selections of how we respond to those changes. And that's why it's really on a personal level and at the granular level why it matters what individuals do.
What advice would you give to the everyday person about how they should think about climate change and then how they should go about their day?
We know the devastating impacts, the impacts on our climate and then ultimately on our people. So it really challenges us to think about our energy. I think energy is a really important piece of this. How do we limit energy? How do we, all of the things that we think about, carpooling, driving less, more fuel efficient vehicles, are we able to replace certain, trips and things like that? That's all very important to think about. Improving energy efficiency in your home. This is where you get these win-win scenarios where you're decreasing your energy bills, but then you're also helping the environment as well. But I think the biggest thing we can do is talk about climate change. Not be afraid to talk to our family, to our faith communities, to our, those that might have differing opinions than us. Because ultimately the more we're talking about it, the more we're embracing it. And I've always used this other phrase, about collective accountability without blame. Because nobody likes to be blamed for things. It really tends to shut down communication. But collectively, we need to think about our collective accountability for where we are today.
Great. Well, in Ohio here, we have this expression that we're all in this together.
Yeah.
So it sounds like if we practice that, there's a good opportunity for us to realize these effective outcomes.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's contagious for the other 49 states.